Hi guys. So it's taking me way too long to like film this video, but I feel like it's an important video. At the very least, it's really important for me and my healing. So yeah, we're gonna talk about my last relationship that was extremely abusive. I'm not gonna name any names at all, probably ever, especially if they're like stories like this, negative stories. But yeah. But at first I was like worried he might see this video, but then I'm like, first of all, I'm across the country, and second of all, um this is probably the most important. Last year, last year I made a video on here, like a short, sort of like a video like this, just talking to the camera, kind of about, it was about my drinking, and like, it was, to me, it was a really important video, and I know that people that I know, like people that love me and care about me, knew that that was a very important video because, well, I think the best example I can give you is because my older sister called me. I know that sounds like, oh, but like me and my older sister don't really have like a talk on the phone kind of relationship. We have a really great relationship and stuff like that, but we just don't really chat a lot on the phone. I don't really chat with many people on the phone, but for her to call me, my heart drops, and I thought like something bad happened, but she just said, that video really, like touched my heart. I don't know the exact words she said, but like, I think I said but like, so many times in this already. So she called me. I mean, I had other people reach out to me for sure, but that stood out to me because, like I said, she doesn't really do that. And so, yeah, I was really proud of that video. So I was dating this man at the time, and I told him about it, I mean, I posted it, I told him about it, and then I made this video, and it had to have been over a month past, like, of posting that video. And then I got him, it was his birthday, and I took him to the casino, and it was kind of like I spent a lot of money for his birthday and blah blah blah. I was finally able to get him to watch, that's not why I got him those birthday gifts. That was because I cared about him, and it was his birthday. I at the time loved him. Sorry, that's but yeah, so I took all of that, and then he finally watched it and didn't really have much of a reaction and fell asleep. So I don't know why I didn't take that as a clue or anything, or why I wasn't surprised that that's how that went. But so yeah, basically I'm not really worried about him seeing this. I mean, even if he does, cool. But yeah, that's just how much he really didn't care about me. So I'm gonna I'm gonna like go through what I think were the early signs of this, or like things that were, that I let go on in our relationship. So I just wanna I'm not blaming anyone besides him, obviously. Those are his actions, and yeah, so and also I'm not a professional, so I don't know if I'm gonna give any advice. I probably shouldn't, but you know what I mean. I'm just going through my experiences. So yeah, we started dating. So I don't really talk about this relationship with many people because it's disturbing to me. Like, it's hard to talk about, and I mean, for me, it feels embarrassing. Like, I'm embarrassed that I let this man, like, take advantage of pretty much everything, my money, my generosity, my kindness, my body, my heart, you know, all these things, everything. Nothing was sacred, you know, nothing. And yeah, where was I going with that? Sorry, my brain fart. Oh, so I'm embarrassed because, well, before this relationship, I was in a short relationship for about a month or something, and that, like, became a little violent, I would say, like, threatening suicide, and, he did throw, like, a closed bottle of, carbonated water, can of carbonated water at my face, so, you know, I did call the police, and I did break up with him right away, you know, we were together for a month, I was like, oh, not having it, you know, so now I'm embarrassed that I went from that to a extremely abusive relationship, you know, and, yeah, like, uh, that's, I guess, like, I'm trying not to be embarrassed, you know, it's not my fault, as much as I, like, think, like, oh, you know, this guy started to get violent with me, and then this guy gets violent, like, it must be me, like, it's not. I promise you it's not. And that goes for, like, anyone watching this. If someone hits you, it's not your fault at all. Right? That's just messed up. But, yeah, so I wanted to, sorry, I wrote stuff down, that's what I'm looking at, but through some, like, because I've been planning this video, but I obviously didn't want a script, but, like, you know, I wanted to get, like, all my feelings out, because that's what I need to do. Oh, I talked to my therapist before I made this video, too, and she agreed that it's a good idea, you know? It's a good, like, I feel like I'll feel lighter after I get this off. Anyway, I think the first signs of, like, him getting violent would be yelling. I think that's, like, pretty standard in, like, you know, a violent relationship, or a not very good relationship, not healthy. So yeah, there's yelling, and then throwing things, like throwing my things. Like, I had a teacup and a little teacup and tea plate that was, like, that I really liked. I got it from you know, a flower shop that I walked to, and, you know, it was just cute, and he knew that I liked it, and just throw it. Other things, I have those little, you know, those pop dolls. I had 3 of them. A friend had them custom made for me. It was like little pop dolls of David, a little one of me in a wedding dress, and then another one of David in the wedding outfit, you know. So I had 3 of those, and he just started throwing them against the wall. So, like, they were in the box, but the boxes are all fucked up. I have to get, like, new, like, I had to ask the lady if she could print out a new, like, cardboard part, and then get the new plastic thing, you know, and just stuff. He would break a lot of stuff. He would throw a lot of stuff, especially glass. And it was all my stuff, you know. He didn't have a lot of stuff, but he could have thrown his own stuff, you know. So it was things that I really liked, that I did tell him, like, you know, please, like, just don't throw, like, this snow globe. It means, like, so much to me. It was David's grandma's, and then she gave it to David, and now I have it, and, you know, it's really important to me. And of course, you know, he didn't throw it, but he threatened to so many times and shook it so aggressively that it was a little butterfly in a snow globe that came detached. It's all in the globe, so maybe one day I can fix it or something. But, you know, it just is showing you, like, that's the one thing I was like, please don't, you know. And yeah, he did, of course. Okay, and then I guess I'll get to, like, my drinking. So yeah, it's not a secret that drinking's always been a problem for me. Oh, I'm on 150 days sober today, but it was really a struggle to get here. But he knew that, and we were, you know, I was working on it, and that was clear, and he knew that, and all this stuff. So yeah, so drinking also was no excuse to hit anyone, you know. I was drunk and I didn't hit anyone, and he didn't drink very much, so I don't know. He was just some bad, scary person, you know. And so in the process of trying not to drink, you know, before relapsing, I've relapsed a bunch, you know, that's just how it goes. That's just like, that's not unusual. But I was really doing good, you know. I got a job with a couple widows that I met through a Facebook group, and I really liked working there, but I just couldn't, you know. I couldn't explain to anyone what was really going on at home and how it was really affecting me, because I guess like I didn't really see it, and I was, like I said, embarrassed. It's embarrassing, and like I didn't know, I don't know, I didn't really know what to do, you know. So I ended up getting let go of that job. um that sucks, you know. I felt bad that I wasn't really able to be reliable at that time, but regardless, it was a really nice job and I met some really nice people, so I was doing good. And I tried like other things, like in place of alcohol, not like in place of alcohol because I was drinking like a lot, you know, like disturbingly a lot. um so not in place of that, but I think of like different things, like to like on the weekend maybe smoke a little, you know. Weed is legal in Michigan, it's legal here too. I've never really got into that very much. I mean, now that I'm in California it's a little different, but in Michigan, you know, everyone was like, oh, you should give smoking a try instead of drinking. But like, so I buy like special like vape pen, I don't know, those little pens for me. Like I'd get one, it was like I got a cute rainbow one and like a bunch of cartridges, and like I couldn't have anything like that because he would take it and just smoke all of it. So why am I buying that? You know, like I don't even, because I don't sit and like smoke like a bunch, so they're, you know, so it's like around because I have it, because I didn't abuse that. I don't abuse that, you know. It's easy for me not to abuse that, but you know. And then another thing, you know, to change another thing like that, I kind of try, as you can see in the past videos, I tried to get into smoking tobacco out of a like little wooden pipe, you know, just like for like the, I don't know, it seemed fun. I had a neighbor, it was really a neighbor, I had a neighbor, and no, but my neighbor growing up would smoke out of a little tobacco pipe, you know, and it smelled so good, and it was like really relaxing, the smell. And I found like the activity of smoking tobacco relaxing for me. I don't smoke cigarettes. It wasn't like that kind of thing, you know. It was kind of just like a hobby a bit, you know. But of course he gets a hold of that and this expensive flavored tobacco that I wanted to use, you know, not just chief on in my room. So, you know, things like that, like instead of being supportive, like my work and like other things, it just wasn't, you know? So looking back, I don't think he cared at all about me, you know? So like I was just an easy, he knew my ex, like that's kind of why, like how we started talking. I posted something on my Facebook, like not really descriptive or anything, but obvious that like someone hurt me, you know? And like that's how he reached out to me. So looking back, like he knows I'm super vulnerable. Obviously, I just got out of that relationship and I am a widow. I think at that time it was probably like 2 years since I was a widow, so about 2 years. And that was like the first, like deep in the pandemic. That was like when the pandemic first hit, you know, so my mind was just everywhere. Um, yeah, so those are some signs. It seems obvious now, you know, but like at the time when you're living in it, it doesn't. There's other things like friends. Um, I noticed he didn't want to hang out with friends or go anywhere anymore, you know? Like, I know like his friends think that it's because of me that he stopped hanging out with them. It's not, you know, I'm not like that, and I liked them until, you know, I heard that and stuff, so, because that's gonna, I don't know, but it's no big deal no more. I don't know why I talked like that, sorry, but it's not a big deal, you know, so that could be some kind of sign. You just want to be like isolated from everyone. A stimulate. I'm sorry, my speech is so funny right now. I think it's because I'm kind of like nervous. But so when we got stimulus checks for COVID, you know, I believe that was, I think it was the winter time, you know, like about a year and a half ago. I don't know. When we got the first round of stimulus checks, he bought a desktop computer, and that was pretty much it, you know? Like, I didn't see him like anymore. He barricaded himself in his room, which I think is funny because we agreed to pay more in rent for us to be able to rent 2 bedrooms, and he just completely took over the 1 bedroom, you know, full of cans, non-stop chain smoking cigarettes with the windows closed, you know, like just took over. And that's what I mean about the money. He took advantage of a lot of my money. Like, financial abuse is a real thing. I never tried to wave anything in his face. I tried to help him. I paid for all the rent. I paid rent and bills. I paid the whole thing, and I didn't complain about it, but I thought we were working together, you know? And I got that job, and it was pretty much impossible for me to like function like for too long, at least. Like, I loved going there and I worked there for a few months, but it just got to be too much. My PTSD at the time was like really high, and I didn't really know at the time. I knew I had PTSD from the accident, but because I don't remember the accident, I only get symptoms. Well, I don't only get symptoms that are physical, but like a lot of the time it'll be physical symptoms. Like, my breath will get short, like almost a panic attack. I'll start getting sweaty, stuff like that for like loud noises. So, you know, being in that abusive relationship and, you know, him constantly throwing things and breaking things and yelling. Also, he's about at least, I mean, he's got to be at least 3 times my size. He's 6 foot tall and 5'5". I weigh, you know, I go between 100 and 120 pounds. And I don't know how much he weighs, probably over 400 pounds, probably for sure over 400 pounds. But like, yeah. So I think those are pretty much some of the things that I guess I noticed now looking back, but I should have noticed then. And then I started drinking again, you know. I was sober for a few months while I had the job. I started drinking again because I couldn't work at this job anymore. I couldn't tell anyone what was going on. I just laid in my room depressed and scared. So of course I started drinking, and then he starts like arguing with me about drinking. I don't know why he cared, honestly. You know, he was always in the other room, always playing video games. I would try and get him to help me like do small things. Carry a laundry basket down for me of his own laundry, you know. Can you carry it back up the stairs too? Like, I'd be doing both of our laundry all the time and ask for help. Just carrying a basket up and down the stairs. I'd be folding them, putting them away, all this stuff. He just didn't want to be included in my life, it seemed, after a while. Like, after I really thought about it, like, I don't go shopping a lot, I don't think. And if I do, I usually would like to go by myself or with another girlfriend, you know. But like, there's certain things we have to go grocery shopping. You know, we have to eat. He doesn't want to go grocery shopping with me. I don't like grocery shopping either. It's just like to go with each other and do stuff, you know? He just seemed like he didn't want that. I really like live music. I was I would go see live music all the time. You know, a lot of our mutual friends do live music. A lot of my mutual friends are musicians, so it only makes sense. But that's how I met him, was through, you know, a show. I met him at a show, my friend's show, and we just stopped going to that. I think that was another reason his friends thought like I was controlling that. I wasn't. I'd go places myself. If there's a show I'd really want to go to, I'd go myself, you know? I'm really trying not to make this a video like really like just bashing on him. This is more a video on me, like looking at myself, like what was I thinking? Like why didn't I care? But I guess that is the bottom line. I just didn't care about myself, you know? I kind of met the same energy he had. I don't think he cared about, I don't know what he's doing now. I don't think he cares about himself, you know? And so I got to that level, so we matched that energy, and that's disturbing because I wasn't like suicidal, but I didn't care if I died, you know? Like, I wasn't actively preventing it. I was definitely doing like, you know, all the drinking. Like, I was being horrible to my body and my mental health, just everything, because I just didn't care, you know? Like, that's why it was so scary to me, like, looking back on it, like, scary. It took me, like, hitting the absolute rock bottom to realize I need to stop drinking and get out of here. Like, I'm gonna die. Like, if drinking doesn't kill me, this man's gonna kill me, you know? Like, I don't see what would stop him from that, you know, going too far. Like, as I mentioned, he's so much bigger than me. I think, okay, one time he did punch me in the eye, both eyes. So I wake up with 2 black eyes, and he broke my nose, you know. That's when things got really bad in the winter of last winter. So I punched him in both my eyes, he broke my nose, I was bleeding all over. And I think like must have been maybe 3 days before I left to come to California, maybe about 3 days or so. I had to go to the urgent care before I got on the flight because my ears were really like it felt like an ear infection, and it was because one night, maybe the night before, maybe 2 nights before I went to the doctor, this man like took his hands like this on my head, and with like all the power in him, like, you know, knocked my head like this, you know, like shooting my head so that like that, I don't know, in a fit of rage. And yeah, that really messed up my ears. I didn't tell the doctor, you know, what I thought it was from. She said, oh, it must be infected. I got the eardrops, or no, I didn't get eardrops. I got antibiotics. Sorry. And yeah, so, you know, because on the flight I didn't want ears to pop. It was only my 3rd time flying, but yeah, I was so scared on the airport just because my balance. That's another thing that I wanted to mention, my balance. Like, because of my ear, and like I still feel off. My balance is so not like what it used to be. It's taking like, I noticed a big change since I've been here. I'm definitely a lot better than I was, you know, the balance wise. I don't know, probably from being knocked to the floor so many times, you know. Like, he would pick me up and drop me on the floor, spit on me. Like, these are things that were disgusting. I called the police multiple times. I have a police report because one of my friends finally did. He picked me up with another friend, and they drove me to the police station so that they could take pictures and I'd file a police report. This was not when I had my broken eyes or broken nose. This was a separate time, a different time. So I do have pictures that I took of myself, but I did not file a police report for that. But another time I've called the police to my house to like tell them what's going on, but these police officers just did not take me seriously, like, at all, you know? Like, they wouldn't get him out of the room. Like, I wanted to tell them what was going on, but they wouldn't have him go in a different room. I was like, he can hear me, you know? So yeah. I'm sure I could have done more, but like, this guy's scary, you know? He's gonna come right back here. He knows where I live. Like, he has stuff here I have to get out. Like, even if I had him take him to jail, like, he's gonna come back and get his stuff, right? I don't know. But yeah, I just had to get out of there. And so I think another thing that I wanted to touch on, obviously the loud noises and stuff, like, I remember one time, one of the last days I worked at my job, it was in a kitchen, not in a kitchen, it was a small restaurant, and I worked the front counter, by myself, answering phones and like putting the orders in, you know, stuff like that. And this homeless man was like outside, and it's all windows. We're not open on the inside. Like, you don't come in, we just run out to your car and bring the food and stuff like that. So this guy was there, he wanted soup, something like that, but like, he started banging on the windows, and like, you know, I'm like, ugh. And I just didn't realize how that would affect my PTSD. It really shook me. Like, I was like, you know, and that, like, normally that wouldn't really scare me. Like, maybe a little bit, but like, not in the way that it scared me. Like, I didn't tell anyone that it scared me so much because I was surprised by it, you know? Like, I don't know. It was. And another thing that I still deal with from this relationship, like I said, the PTSD was from a car accident originally, but I know it can get worse from abusive relationships. It makes sense to me, obviously. And then I just can't shake this feeling of, I feel like maybe after I make this video I will, but there's this feeling of like, I tried to research it, I think it's another symptom of PTSD, but like feeling dirty, like I just feel like unhygienic, you know what I mean? And like, I'm just not, you know, like, I shower every day, you know, brush my teeth twice a day, all the things, but like, I just feel dirty. I feel like that comes from, I battle depression, and that got very bad. So if you know anything about depression, the first thing that goes would be your grooming, hygiene, you know, stuff like that. Just because, like, you don't care, like, why would you care, you know? Like, I didn't want to be a lot, well, I don't know, I say that loosely, but like, I didn't care if I was alive or not, you know? So why would I care if I brush my hair? Why did I care if I take a shower? Like, but like, you know, that's really sad, and that's very unhealthy, obviously, because you end up just feeling worse. But like, you would think a supportive partner, like, he obviously noticed that my hygiene and my just like living habits drastically changed in a few months. I'd say like drastically. And because, you know, I was going to yoga, riding my bike to yoga, going to work, social, all this stuff, and I just stopped, you know. And you would think, like, I thought I had a partner that loved and cared about me, but instead he just like made fun of me, or like made it apparent, as if I didn't know already, that my hygiene and whatever you want to call it was declining. I did know that I needed help, you know. I'd have to beg him to help me take out the trash, just like small things he could have helped with. He should have been helping with this stuff, you know, as like as a partner in a relationship. There are certain things, and you just kind of expect your partner to help bring you up when you're feeling down. But I think he brought me to the lowest I've ever felt. And yeah, so I think I kind of hit everything that I experienced. So I think I'm gonna say a couple things about how I think I've been moving past this. So I've been here in California for, I think it's almost 5 months now. Almost 5 months now. I haven't drank a drop, except for I accidentally swallowed a little bit of mouthwash. but no, I didn't drink. I haven't been drunk, obviously. I mean, yeah, it feels really great. I feel really great. That would be like number one for me. Changing the environment I was in had to go. It had to go. I know a lot of people don't have that kind of ability, you know. I didn't. I was, honest to God, I was ready to move into a homeless shelter. Like, that's what I was going to do. It's literally what I was going to do. I had no way to pay rent anymore because I was paying so much money for rent because my roommate moved out. What's another? I might do a video on like toxic friendships. I don't even know what you would call it. I just mean like when there's a woman living with you who you were friends with for years and she is like knows what's going on in this house, you know? She didn't see anything, but she knows. Like, and like just didn't help at all or anything. You could have tried like something or said something to me. You know what I mean? Like, I know I don't know if it seems out of line for a friend to say anything, but if I was roommates with someone, I didn't even care if our friendship was like great or not, and I saw like clear signs of abuse. I mean, I FaceTimed her while this was like the first time it happened. I had a huge bruise on my face and she just said like, oh, I know this would happen as soon as I left. And then like, you know, she can, I don't want to go into like drama about this, but like that's so disturbing to me, honestly. But some things, like I said, change my environment. So I know a lot of people don't have that ability, so you just really gotta do what you can. Like, you really gotta start cutting people out, and it's really like for your own. I know it's really hard. Obviously, I struggle with like giving advice on this because it took my sister coming in from California to come get me, help me pack up my stuff, get me on a plane. I had to get out of there, you know? I had to be away from these people that I chose to surround myself with. So many negative people I chose to surround myself with. I was becoming a negative person. You know, I'm sure I was a negative person, you know? I gave up, basically. It was basically like I was killing myself. It's just plain and simple. I just was killing myself. And so I had to get out of there, you know, change my environment. And just forgiving myself, that's number one. That's a really hard thing, but that's number one. I forgive myself all the time. You have to, like, I just have to, you know. I'll never know what was going through the other people's minds. Like, I don't know how I affected them, and that's that, but I certainly have to forgive myself. Forgive myself from all the drinking, forgive myself from all the pain I caused myself, and, you know, understand that I went through a lot, and I can feel sad about that, but I'm over that sad part, you know? I do want to, like, help people if I can. That's why I'm making this video. Like, I mean, it does help myself. I'm not gonna lie, it helps me, like, keep myself accountable, and maybe if there's someone else out there, I could help them in some way. Yeah, I think that's everything I wanted to touch on. This is a really long video. I think I just want to end this with one more quick tip, I guess. If you're ever really, so I have panic attacks, or I used to have them, like, quite a bit, like, some are, like, debilitating. Like, I had to be in the hospital because I thought I was having a heart attack. But it's been a while since I've had a panic attack, but I've also been on medication now for probably 5 months since I've been here, because I haven't been drinking, so I've been able to take my daily medications, which I actually notice they're working. But anyway, let me get to this meditation. I find this meditation to be really easy to do, really quick. You can do it anywhere you are, and it's just really, I don't know, it's really soothing. So I think I read it in a book, but basically you want to imagine, you want to close your eyes and imagine a beam of light starting at your feet, right? And then imagine vines growing from that beam of light from your feet all the way, slowly wrapping up to your top of your head, you know? So you imagine these vines nicely wrapping up you, not in like a choking you way, but in a nice hug way. And then imagine them tightening up, you know, in a nice hug. Like, you have to really visually picture these in your mind. And you can do this anywhere, you know, you could be sitting, standing, you're just visualizing this light go from your feet, and then vines growing all the way up your body to your head, and just squeezing you lightly like a small hug. And you can sit there in silence for however long you need. But I find that visual like really helps. And yeah, I guess that's all for today. I'm working on the background of my video, like, you know, like what kind of backdrop, but I'm just in my bed. I wanted to, just in case I got like, in case I cried or something, I just was trying to be comfy. Yeah, but anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks. Bye.